Well, we are live now. This is Elliot from Freelance Duck Hunting, and this is another live stream. We've been doing a lot of them lately. Really enjoying them. Today, I invited Mason from Double S Outdoors and Drake from Drake Valley Outdoors. All of you know Drake very well. You've probably seen his videos and seen him on the live chats quite a bit. And Mason has been on some of these streams, but never a public one. Isn't that right, Mason? You were on some of the early ones that weren't public.
Yes, sir. So one of the ones just kind of between us before we went live.
Yeah, when I first started Patreon live chats, the first couple were just us guys hanging out and talking waterfowl. And these live streams really are no different, except people watch and talk a little bit. So both these guys have been around for a long time now. So I have both of them have channels that they're really working hard to push forward. So their links are in the description below. Check out Drake's and Double S Outdoors. We're just going to be talking tonight about teal hunting and just the upcoming waterfowl season. And I know for us, for Drake and myself at least, it's coming really, really soon. Early teal season starts September 9th, and we got 3 weeks and weekends of early teal season. And we've got 1 week off where there's no hunting in Kansas, and then the early zone starts the next week out west. So essentially, in a couple weeks from now, we have hunting from that point on till the end of January with only 1 week off. So that's Drake and my hunt schedule as far as how it breaks down. Mason, yours isn't quite as fun, is it? Not quite as good as ours.
Yeah, there's a little bit more of a split in between the early teal and the regular duck season. The teal is the same. It starts September 9th and closes out the 24th. But then our first duck split, which is only 2 days, is the day after Thanksgiving and the following day. So it's a Friday, Saturday opener, and then it closes for, I want to say, a week or so, and then opens back up in December and then runs to the end of January.
Sounds good. So we're just going to kind of talk about our channels to start off and what we've got going on for the upcoming season. And I'd like to get into some teal specifics and talk about that. So Drake, I'm going to start with you, then we'll go to Mason, and I will finish off. So if you could just kind of talk about any changes that you're going to be making from last year's hunts to this year's hunt. I know we've talked about it before, but I still find it interesting. And just kind of anything new you're doing or upgrades you've made, anything like that.
Okay. Yeah. As far as the hunting goes, it'll probably be a little bit different for us because we have our boat now. So we're probably going to be hunting some different areas where we can actually use the boat, things like that. And then as far as filming, I got the new camera. So I'm looking forward to trying to use that and seeing if I can get some better quality video out of it. And then just trying to continue to improve on the actual videos and making them more that vlog style video. As opposed to like the early days teal season last year on my channel where it was just a GoPro setup that was just recording and was a bunch of shooting things, or sometimes not really shooting a lot of things. But so that's kind of what I'm doing.
You have the camera, you know, you seem to always have your stuff around. Do you have the camera right around with you?
You know what, I just moved it. It's across the room. I can grab it if you want me to.
Well, talk about it a little bit, and then when we get talking, jump up and grab it. But what is it, and how are you going to use it? Are you going to put the gun down some, or what's your plan with the two cameras now? Because you have two cameras running now, right?
Yeah, I'll have my GoPro that I still plan on setting up on a tripod or on some kind of pole with my microphone, just pretty much exactly how I had it last year, and that will be set up. But then I'm also going to have my camera, which is a DSLR. And then I'll have a nice microphone on that. I need to buy a new microphone, speaking of which. And then I need to make some kind of neck harness or something that I can hang it around my neck. And I'm not 100% sure right now if I'm going to try and take a back seat a little bit and film, and then have just the other two guys shooting and see if we can switch off. I'm not really sure how well that will work. I need to get the other guys on board with doing something like that first. Everybody always wants to shoot on every pass, so that might take a little convincing to get that done. And it'll just depend on the day. If we got tons of birds working, then I'll probably work the camera and try and just throw it down on my side or something with it around my neck and still shoot. But I'm not 100% sure. I got a new backpack this year. It's like a sling style backpack where you can wear it on your back, but then you can also sling it around to your front. So I'm not sure if I'll try and do something with that where I hold the camera down in that off to my side, because you're supposed to be able to wear the backpack and not have it impede on your shouldering your shotgun. It's supposed to go across the other side or something. So I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do all that, but I'll figure it out eventually.
Well, that will certainly be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm really curious to watch. I know that getting people to put down the shotgun and run the video camera can be a little bit of a challenge, but my dad and Dan just jump right to it. They're all excited about it. So my goal, the first season, I didn't hardly get any footage of birds being shot, but the second season I was like, okay, I'm running the camera until a couple birds get shot, and then we'll start passing it around. And once birds start dropping, people get a lot more ready. If you can give them a couple birds under their belt, they're typically happy to do it. What's up, Clayton?
I made it. Sorry I'm late.
That's all right. We'll get back around to you in a second. But that's Clayton from GT Outdoors. His channel is in the description down below, too. You guys probably already know him from previous live streams, and we'll get to him in a second. Drake, Clayton, and myself actually are all from the same state, and Drake and Clayton actually live real close together. So we'll get back to you in a second. But, Mason, talk a little bit about your channel. I know that last year you had some plans to really push out some videos that kind of fell through, but it seems like you're a lot more geared up to really get it going now.
Yeah, absolutely. We're super excited about this year. Last year, like you said, we had plans, created the channel, still trying to get into the filming and hunting at the same time. We had the same problems everybody. No one felt like putting down the shotgun to film. So that was kind of our big deal. But this year we're really excited. Got a new blind for the boat. We bought the boat last November, kind of mid-season. So we were new to duck hunting with the boat as well. But we got a new blind for it. Hadn't installed it yet. And I think that's going to be one of the videos we try to pump out, is us kind of installing the blind and showing you how we're going to hunt out of the boat. Like I said,
it's like
it's made by Flyway Specialties. And it mounts to your boat, but it's a pop-up blind on your boat. So when you're driving, obviously it folds down and ties up. But it's supposedly, I hadn't tried it out yet. Like I said, we hadn't done it, but it's supposedly real quick to set up. And it also has a top cover too. So hunting out of a boat, that's a big deal, because, I mean, ducks are up high. They see right down into it. So we got the top cover as well. So we're excited about that. We have, like I said, we have 2 GoPros now in I want to say it's a Canon. I'm pretty sure it's a Canon. I'm not sure what model it is, but it's an HD. I bought it last year. So what our plan is have one GoPro kind of set up, angled toward the boat, kind of showing us in it, and then mount one actually to the corner of the blind where it has the decoy spread in it, and then run the good camera to try to get ducks working and stuff like that. So we're really going to hit the ground running with that. It's mandatory this year. That's what I've been telling all the guys going with us.
Yeah.
No longer bringing the camera along just to bring it along. We're going to do some filming. I've talked to my little brother, who's the counterpart in this show, or this outdoor team, I guess you'd say, and he's down for swapping out videoing with the main camera. So we're excited about it. Got my dog. He's ready to go. He was 8 months old last season, so he was still kind of a puppy, and you could tell just hunting with him. But one of the downsides to where we are, though, is I'm not going to be able to take him teal hunting if we hunt down here because of the gators. So he's going to stay at home if we go down here, but we do have a couple trips planned up to North Alabama and Lake Guntersville. And he's definitely coming along with those. So we're excited about it.
Staying at home too.
Yeah, it's pretty intimidating, especially, I mean, there's tons of them out in September. So
I don't even want to. You're setting up the decoys.
You stay in the boat. I mean, you stay in the boat.
throw them all out and bring them all in with one.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I mean, even during the winter when we were hunting down here, I mean, you still see like red eyes on the banks, and it's like, nope. So yeah, it's a different aspect, that's for sure.
I can't imagine. I can't tell you how many times I always joke we'll be walking around, knee deep water, thigh deep water, and the minute I just like, man, I'm sure glad we don't have gators in Kansas. Just joke around. I don't know how.
It's still creepy when something bumps your leg. You don't know what it is.
Yeah. In our last video,
it's not sharp though.
That was filmed in November, and that's a huge gator just sitting on the side. So yeah, it's interesting.
So Clayton, we haven't gotten to you. You're a little bit running a little late. What's going on?
I had someone come over to my house like 15 minutes before it started. So what's the question?
I'm just giving you a hard time. So now with your channel, you really came on strong last year with some of what you were doing. So what are you looking to do this year as far as changes with your video equipment, or changes with maybe working a little harder on trimming down your editing?
Definitely that. And I'm gonna try and be running the actual handheld camera. Like, it's just a cheap, I think it's a Samsung, but I tried to use it a couple times last year, and I don't know, I didn't want to put the shotgun down. And then my buddy and my brother, they weren't gonna hold the camera, so I definitely want to get that more this year. And I've been thinking about, because I got the dog and teal season coming up, I'm trying to find, I got like a little map of walk-in areas with ponds that I've been writing down to go check out here this weekend probably. Well, I guess I can't check them out this weekend because they're not open yet. I'll be trespassing. But trying to find like a pond away from everything so he's not out there with 100 people blasting ducks around him, and just use the camera and have my buddy or my brother hunt, and I'll just use the camera that first couple hunts probably is what I'm trying to do. That way I can work the dog and work the camera too.
Well, we actually saw some teal last Saturday. We were out on the river. We've been spending a lot more time on the river after that trip the survival trip we took. Man, that's such a beautiful river, and it gets so underused. I mean, almost no one uses it in this area. I don't know why. But we saw a batch of about 25 teal flying through, and we saw about 30 wood ducks sitting on a sandbar in the middle of the river, which I thought was interesting. I wouldn't have expected that, but it was cool. It was neat to see.
I seen teal flying around like my neighborhood pond, like a couple little groups of them, but not too much.
Well, we've got quite a few north wind days coming up here this week and next. So this time of year, anytime you get north wind days, something's coming through. I don't know how much, but some. So we are just now. My dad's up at the lease, and he's flooded it up to about 2 or 3 inches now. So we're flooding it really shallow for teal season. And hopefully that's where we'll be hunting from, possibly every single teal hunt. I don't know. We'll probably hunt 5 different times, 2 times the first weekend, and then second, third weekends, like I said before. We'll probably do 4 teal hunts, and if the lease is good, we'll probably just do all of them from there. Teal in that area are supposed to be really, really abundant, whereas around where we typically hunt, the teal are pretty sparse. So I'm pumped about it. What are you guys' thoughts on decoys? What is your typical teal decoy spread? Whoever wants to chime in on that.
I don't know. Last year was the first year I hunted teal, so and I think I used all of my decoys. This year I got more. Like I only had like half a dozen teal decoys. So this year I actually have, I think, 12 teal, and then a couple teal mojos. But
yeah. How about Drake? What is your spread gonna be looking like this year? I know you bought a bunch of new ones, right?
Yeah, I'll be running probably 2.5 dozen teal. I don't know, and then we might grab some other things, some of the hen decoys or something, like maybe some hen fintails or something like that, depending on what's in the area. And and then we have, I don't know how many mojos we got now. I don't think when it comes to teal, I don't think they notice so much as far as what the mojo is, as much as they notice the spinning wings and stuff like that. But we do have, I think, a couple teal. I think my buddy got some blue wing mojos from Walmart in a small town. They were on sale, and I think he got them for like $10 or something ridiculous like that, $10 or $12. So I think he got one or two of those. I don't remember. So we'll probably be running probably just one mojo and then the 2.5 dozen teal, and then I'm not sure what the other guys have. They might have some more teal that we might throw out, but we'll just have to see. I think that first weekend it's not really going to matter as far as what the spread looks like, but then after that, hopefully we don't have the same kind of year as last year where we're shooting teal all the way towards the end of October. I'd like to start shooting some other things once actual duck season opens up, but
yeah, that's pretty typical. I mean, at least especially the opener.
Yeah,
shooting almost all teal. So we're for the early zone. We're going out for the opener. I don't know. I'm not sure where we're going, but we're going somewhere for the opener, and then we'll go the third weekend. So I'm hoping by that third weekend, if we could get into some grays, ducks, and some pintail, because that's that second and third weekend of October is a real good pintail shot. That's when you're going to shoot them.
Yeah, we saw quite a few pintail. I say quite a few. It was one decent-sized group of pintail that were kind of circling around us the second week of teal season last year. Second or third, I don't remember. I can't remember if we hunted the second week or if we skipped it. I don't remember. But it was the second hunt we went on. There was a group of them circling around us, but they never came in.
There's a question from Abe H. I want to address. I'm going to send this one to Mason since it was kind of his turn to talk. What is your philosophy on motion decoys, jerk rigs for teal season?
We're not a huge – we don't use a ton of jerk rigs. The main thing we use is, like Drake was saying, is we'll use our hand mallard mojos mainly, and that normally does the trick for us. I mean, even during regular season, I don't think anybody I hunt with right now has any type of motion decoy other than mojos. So I mean, that's kind of my take on it. I mean, I've never heard anything negative about them, but as far as us personally, we don't typically use them.
The only thing I've heard negative about them is it makes it too easy. That's the second time. I don't know if that's true or not. Like Drake was saying, teal, especially the first weekend, are extremely dumb. You get those new young ones, and I mean, they'll land in your decoys, and you can get up and yell and yell and yell at them, and they don't flesh sometimes. So I'll do more water swatting on early teal than I will any other time because, truth be told, for some reason, teal flushing off the water, my shooting percentage is terrible on. They're so much harder to hit coming off the water than you think they'd be. So I'm going to swat those little suckers on the water. We don't really have that problem because down here we don't have, marshes on marshes. So, I mean, if you're getting a good group of teal, you're excited. I mean, you're not just – we don't just slaughter them. I mean, open weekend at teal, I'm actually delaying our trip to Gunnersville till the second or last weekend because the migration just hasn't got here sometimes. Because I know 2 years ago we went and there were teal everywhere the last weekend of season. And then last year we went for the opener up there and we saw like 3 teal. So down in the south, it takes a little longer for them to get down here. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was just talking to someone earlier this week about Texas and their teal season. To me, it's really weird that Nebraska is a week before us, and we have our teal season the week after that, or it starts the week after that. And then I'm not sure what Oklahoma's is, but I know Texas is the same as us. It's like 2 states below us, and you guys have the same teal season.
Yeah, and see, that's how ours is. It's the same as y'all's, and it's like you would think as far south as we are, it'd be a little later, but I mean, regular duck season is. I mean, the opener at least is a good bit later. We don't have that first split, but yeah, you'd think it'd be a little later.
Question from Iowa Plainsman that I want to address. He's speaking of motion decoys. Do you guys use those swimmer mojos or ones with fluttering feet? Have you found any you like? We have not found any that we like. We used a generic one 2 years ago, and up in South Dakota on the Missouri River, it's like everything's really shallow, and it's all got cattails and vegetation in it. But then when you have open water, it's like right at wader deep. Like every single hole you can walk in, but just barely. And so I dropped the motor on this motion decoy, sat on the top, and it could slide in and out. I dropped that thing onto the bottom. Yeah, but that actually wasn't about it. Then last year we used the Wonder Duck or Lucky Duck. I don't remember. One of them, but it sucked. It didn't work at all. Drake, tell me again which one you have, because that's the one I want.
We have a Lucky Duck Swimmer, I believe is what it's called.
Doesn't it shoot water out of it?
Yeah, it's got like a motor on the bottom, and it takes water in through the front, and then it's got two little legs that you can kind of bend, and they shoot water out of those. I'm not convinced on it yet. I'm really curious to see how it works this early season. I'm not sure if I'll take it out during teal season, because it's a mallard. Not that it would really matter. It's just going to make motion. But I definitely do want to try it out in the wetlands, where there's kind of some of that pond weed and some of that stuff, because I had someone just comment on that video just a couple days ago, and they were asking about that, if I've had problems getting like pond weeds stuck in the actual intake for the water. And we'd only used it on kind of some big water last year because I got it so late in the season. So I'm curious to see if I have problems with that or not. But it really didn't stir up the decoys as much as I would like. You can kind of put the feet up out of the water a little bit, and it shoots water up and kind of makes some splashes on the water a little bit better than if you could just keep it down in the water. If you keep it down in the water, it just kind of swims circles. And I kind of like sticking the legs out, so it makes a little bit of splashing motion. But I wasn't super impressed, especially for what they cost. So I think I got it on sale for $100 or $80 or something like that. So not super impressed for that, but I don't know, maybe it'll redeem itself this year.
I've been watching the new Grind episodes. You guys watch those at all?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes.
You know, those don't get near as many views as you would think. And they don't get near as many subscribers as you'd think either, which is kind of surprising.
That's because there's like 30 commercials during there.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think that's it. You know what I think it is that people on YouTube want like an interactive community feel. Because you go through their videos, they'll have like 3 comments. And those guys don't interact at all. So it's just like, it's a TV show. That's the difference. It's like, you have the show and the community is directed outwards. There's no back and forth whatsoever. And I think on YouTube, people, you can get that anywhere. I think what people want is interaction, and I don't think they provide that. But man, their videos, the ones I've been watching lately, are fantastic. But my point was, when I was watching, they were using a water spinning decoy that looked pretty cool.
They have the splasher, don't they? The one with the wings.
Well, they were using that one. They're using another one where the feet were like these almost like rubber bands. So as they flip around, they flip water. They were it's like little rubber bands almost, but you know what I'm saying? Am I making sense?
Yeah, they have a couple different ones. They have the butt up ones, and then they have like the little paddles on them. And then they also have the ones that are like a full size duck decoy with spinner wings on it, but then those also have the paddles on them to try and catch some water.
That's the one I have, is the Lucky Duck splasher deal with has the wings and the little splashers on the wings.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of heard mixed reviews about those too.
I feel the same way you do about your swimmer one. I can't tell if it helps or it scares them off.
Yeah, I think that it's certainly important, and we do carry a jerk rig with us, but we only put it out if it's real stagnant water. People swear by jerk rigs, and they talk about them like they're gold. But I'm telling you, and I know motion matters, I have never just put one out and like noticed some massive difference. Like, when people talk about them, it's like the most invaluable thing that you can have. And I have never dropped one in and thought it made some kind of like groundbreaking difference. I know it matters, and I know that they're good, but I think they're overhyped.
I think, I don't know, every time I use the jerk, like if I'm out alone, I won't touch it, because then I have one hand pulling a jerk rig, one blowing a call, and the other trying to get a shotgun. And then I'm sitting there moving, pulling the jerk rig, and the grass is moving around me. And I'm like, I don't know if it's really helping me. My buddy likes his, but.
Well, Dan's our jerk rig guy, because I can't stand them, honestly. I can't stand them because they're a pain in the butt. The dogs get twisted in them, especially my dad's dog.
I get twisted in them.
Jerk rig. And we move a lot. I mean, if the ducks are landing 100 yards over, we'll move our whole spread. And one thing that I like to pride us on is that we can move our spread fast. Jerk rigs complicate that like you wouldn't believe, because you got to wind it all up and take off all. And if you don't, it's just a rat's nest. They're a pain. They're a pain.
Yeah, I'd like to use one more this year, but I agree they're kind of a pain in the butt.
But if you have no movement on the water, none, that'll kill you. If it's like glass, it's gonna.
Right.
Let's see, who was that was asking? Abe H. Yeah, he was asking, Mason, what area are you from? You don't have to be real specific. Just give a little more, like, what kind of area do you guys typically hunt?
Yeah, we're from, we're kind of spread out right now. I personally live down in Mobile, Alabama, but most of the people I hunt with are from North Georgia. So down here, it's a delta. It's a smaller delta than obviously the Mississippi Delta or something like that. But that's kind of our hunting area, brackish, marsh, stuff like that. But up north,
what brackish marsh means for us people that have never tasted salt water in their lives.
Yeah, so it's Mobile Bay is the big saltwater. It's a big bay down here, and it's got 3 major rivers kind of pouring into it. So it forms a delta, and depending on the tide, if the tide's high, a lot of that salt water from the bay gets sucked in to the river systems. So that's kind of how the salt water gets in there. Now, during late season, the bay is actually a good place to hunt divers. They do pretty well in the bay for divers. But early season, it's kind of, I don't know. Last year was our first year hunting in Mobile specifically. So we're still kind of learning all the ropes. But our main spot that we like to hunt is in North Alabama. It's Lake Gunnersville. I don't care to give that away because it's a huge lake. And we've got some spots in there that we really like. But like I said earlier, we'll probably go up there at least once or twice for teal season. And then definitely for opening duck weekend for us, which is the day after Thanksgiving. So that's kind of the area. We're from Alabama, Georgia. So
cool. Ben Hunting says that he was on my state's Refuge and Forage page and saw some people bad-mouthing me because they think that I broadcast areas too much. And he wants to know if I'm going to keep filming how I'm doing it or if I'm going to change it up. Well, Ben, I did release a video kind of in response to those criticisms, and I'm going to keep doing what I do, but I am going to make some changes. So season 1, if you look through those videos, you'll actually see boat ramps. Those have been taken out. And early season 2, I actually talked about Kansas quite a bit, and I have done away from that. I have taken all the Kansas tags out of my videos. So I do see it as a concern, but I think those guys on those forums basically are paranoid, because here's my general philosophy of it. If people can identify my hunting spots based on my videos, then they've already been there and they know about it. So none of my videos are going to – no one's going to see my video and know where that hasn't been there and know where I'm hunting and go out and hunt it. So I guess if there's enough people, which I'm actually surprised the amount of people locally that actually watch it, because I've been out and several times people have actually talked to me and been like, oh, I watch it and watch your shows, and that's a little bit of a surprise to me. So I have to assume that there is some hunters around that hunt the same places I do that know them. So I think I might have the ability to kind of push traffic around. Like, let's say I hunt pool A one weekend and shoot a limit, maybe some people might go to that same pool the next weekend or shortly thereafter. But I think that's about the extent of the adding pressure. So what I'm going to do to address that is, and this is just for myself, so I'm going to try to back up my hunts. So if I hunt on a Saturday, it won't get posted until I have a whole another week and another weekend to hunt that same spot. So by the time they see I've had a successful hunt, I've been able to hit it again. But no, Ben, I've interacted with those people on the forums, and there's some really aggressive people on there who take great offense to people filming their hunts. And their stance is kind of people that film their hunts are just ego crazy and all, and whatever. But I'm not going to really change a whole lot. Now we do have the lease, which will be about 10 more hunts that won't be on public ground, and we're going to push into Missouri as well. Our lease is in Missouri, and then we're going to push into Missouri some too, so we're going to spread out. But people knowing your spots are certainly a concern. And Drake and Clayton, have you ever thought about that aspect of it, and do you get nervous about broadcasting your public land hunts? What do you guys do?
I'm pretty sure in mine you can tell where I am a lot of the time. Again, if you've been there before. Like I think Drake said he knew where I was in one of them or a couple of them, but I don't know. I think it's public land hunting, and there's a ton of people out there anyways. So like a few people that watch my video and like, oh, I'm gonna go shoot that spot. There's probably already 10 people out there in that marsh. So
yeah,
if someone's arguing about it on a forum, then
and if Drake sees your spot, what's Drake going to do? He obviously knows the spot. Is he going to just rush right out there? Well, probably not. He's probably not going to do that. Very few people are probably like, oh, and my dad made a good point. As crappy as we did last year, who cares? Yeah, how about it, man? We did terrible.
I mean, if I saw Drake hunting from his spot, I'd probably walk into his blind and sit next to him.
And Drake, I think that you probably, out of the three of us, and have more concern about some of the spots you hunt with some identifiers and stuff that I know we've talked about too.
Yeah, I mean, some of the areas I hunt, we've talked about, like, everybody in Kansas knows about those spots, or if they don't, it seems like everybody else in Kansas already knows about those spots because there's so many people out there, like Clayton said. And it's like some of his spots, like he's talking about, if I see that he's hunting it, I'm probably just won't go there because I know that I'd have to deal with a bunch of other hooligans out there. And that's somewhat what we're trying to get away from this year. There's some spots that we hunt that I try and keep a little more hush-hush, but there's still some people that have seen my videos that have commented on them and told me they know where it's at, or sent me a message and said they know where it's at. So I've never been one to really kind of film the area that we're in, like boat ramps and things like that. I usually kind of keep the camera put up until we get out to our spot or as we're walking out there. And if it's middle of the dark, nobody can really tell the terrain based off of that. But
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like Clayton said, we still deal with people out there all the time. And if I see that there's like a ton of people really starting to show up and like they start like coming up to me and saying something because they know me or something, then maybe I would try and hide a little bit more. And if that happens and we just get pushed out of areas, I'll just go back to hunting private land most of the time, or focusing on trying to hunt private land more.
Well, another point I had is that we hunt maybe – I'm hunting one place 4 times out of the 25 we hunt a year. We jump around so much that it's not like we're going to the same place. I mean, if you see us do a hunt video one Saturday, I mean, if we shot our limit, we might go back to that spot. But, I mean, generally speaking, we hunt so many different places. It's like, okay, try to follow me around. That's whatever. I'm going to beat you there. I'm going to get there earlier than you. I'm going to beat you there. And I'm probably
that's the kind of thought.
Anyway, so, those guys were fired up.
That's the kind of thought I have about it. It's just, I mean, if you get out there before everybody, I mean, you're going to have to get there at 2 a.m. to beat us out there. So good luck. I mean, if you're willing to spend the night out there, have fun. You can have it.
Yeah, I hear you. I'll talk about it. Dang it, I had something else that. So I know we had talked about doing a collaborative hunt, Drake and GT. Do you want to talk about that here, or should we talk about that off air?
I mean, feel free to talk about it. I wouldn't give out too much.
No, we won't talk specifics, but
yeah.
I've got those 2 dates in October, the first weekend and the third weekend. That's certainly a possibility. Do we want to try to do something out west there, or do we want to try to do more one of our local areas where you guys come up here, or a couple of us come down there? What would be the my only worry about doing it out in October is I can't imagine not using my layout boat. I did so poorly trying to decoy them even in layout boats last year. I can't imagine just sitting in a week.
Yeah, so I'd be worried. I'd go wherever, but I don't have a layout or anything. So
yeah,
y'all come play with the Gators.
That would be my only thought about going out west would be what methods we were using when we went out.
Yeah, and I know what you're talking about, and like you said, I mean, we're going to be hunting it this year without layout boats, but definitely I feel like if you had layout boats, it would be really hard not to hunt those without the layout boats. So I guess we'll have to see how we do without the layout boats. I know if we go out there early teal season, I'm not going to be too worried about it, especially if it's like it was last year where we had teal landing in the decoys with us walking through the water. Like, could have just used a baseball bat and got our limit probably. It was that crazy. But
hey, that would make a good video.
This is totally random. Did you
probably get shut down by PETA or something like that?
Have any of you guys seen that Adam Sandler movie on Netflix? I can't remember what it's called.
He has a few.
It's a new one. It's about him being like an agent, in Hollywood, oh my goodness. He hits this raccoon with a baseball bat.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh my god, that thing just exploded.
Just don't throw apples at them.
At raccoons?
Don't throw apples at possums when you're at work.
Why? What happens if you
on
do
your
that?
break? I don't work third shift anymore, so.
What happened? Tell the story.
I was eating an apple. Well, long story short, I was eating an apple outside of work. It's a smoke break where we just go walk around for like 15 minutes. I was eating an apple one day and I saw a possum out there, so I chucked the apple at it, and then we found out that possum comes around like every day around the same time. So we went out there and chucked a couple apples at it, and they put a game cam up. We didn't know they put the game cam up, so it was on like in the middle of a public street tied to a tree looking at our basically secure building. And so we kind of looked at it, and they knew we looked at it, so we don't have a job there anymore. They thought we were vandalizing the building. And
Well, you're just checking
apples at possums.
Why are you trying to hurt the possum? What's the possum?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, just fun, huh?
I was trying to get it and hit it with an apple and maybe eat it, make Dan proud.
Dan swears that first possum he made was good, but I can tell you myself, the second one he made was not.
There's no way. There's no way.
I think it would
pay me to try it.
That's true. That would be wildlife harassment there.
He's sworn off him because he got like some big abscess tooth after the second one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he swears that second possum caused him an abscess tooth. Which I don't think that's probably true, but it's funny. All right, guys, let's hit up some questions here because we can take whatever questions there are. But as far as the collaborative thing, back to that. Would you guys want to travel up here? You could always stay at my house, or you get a hotel room, whatever you want. Would that be in the cards?
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with traveling.
I'll drive wherever.
Because your zone. Hold on. What your zone Are you in the same zone as me?
We're in.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Okay. So our zones run the same. All right.
I'm like an hour from early and late.
Yeah.
We could plan. Yeah. Okay. Let's think about that. Either, unless we end up now, if we end up west during teal season, which if our lease was not holding any birds at all, which I think it will, but if it's not, there's a chance we might end up out west during teal season. But if not, I think I would rather look for something in December or even January, possibly, where either I come there, or you guys come up here, and if we do it, who's going to film it? Are we all going to film it? How would you see that working?
I don't know. I
haven't thought that far ahead, I guess.
I've done it with my old channel. We just made, I don't know, our own take of the video.
That would be pretty interesting. That would be a lot of cameras.
Yeah.
But that would be pretty interesting if all three of us filmed it, and then we'd have the same hunt in 3 different locations, and we could cross promote those. I think that's kind of the way I'd want to do it. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think if we set up like 1 or 2 GoPros, like how I have mine on a tripod or a pole or something, we could probably do something where we share some of that footage, if needed, and then we would just have our other handheld cameras if we were filming other stuff outside of that.
Okay.
So, and I guess it also depends on if we just go out and do a 1-day thing or multiple days. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I'm up for whatever.
We'll get down the road and see, but I think that would be fun to do. And doing 2 days would be fun as well. But we'll have to get on some kind of weekend, or I don't know. But let's kind of make that the idea, and then we'll keep in touch in October as well, and see for those 2 weekends. Who knows, because we're gonna be doing 3-day hunts on some of those. So if we're out there at the same time, maybe something will just pop up out there as well.
Yeah. So do you guys have any kind of trip planned right now, or are you guys?
Well, we've got the first weekend of October, we're going west. Third weekend of October, we could possibly go north up to the Missouri River up in the Nebraska-South Dakota border. And then there's another, I can't remember when it is. We've got a November trip planned, but it's all around our lease. So we're going to go hunt Bob Brown, which is a really awesome place up in Missouri. We're going to hit like Bob Brown one day, hit our lease another day. So and normally our normal hunt trip, we're going to push into Missouri a little more is the plan. But if you guys have never been up to the border on Nebraska and South Dakota, you have to have a boat going up there. You have to. But it is the coolest place. And the Grind does a lot of videos from there, from that exact same area. He talks about it. It's that one guy's home territory.
Bill,
it is the coolest place, man. It is, yeah. Bill, he's the owner of Dakota Decoys.
Yeah.
But that is the coolest place, I'm telling you. That and the Bottoms, those 2 places are just – I'm going to get up there again. I don't know if it'll be this year that's going to happen because it's cool.
Yeah, that ice hunt they had, that one really got me for this year.
Yeah, that was the one where they hunted. Yeah. Man, the slow-mos they had on some of those birds, oh my goodness. This is a good question. The Boot Outdoors wants to know about full plumage drakes during teal hunts, and if we use them. I would rather use a full plumage teal decoy than a mallard hen. I just like teal decoys. I don't like them plumed out. It bothers me. It really bothers me. But they're not shiny enough and really plumed out enough that I don't think it makes that big of a difference. But I would certainly rather have teal decoys of any kind than mallard hen decoys. I don't know. That's just me. What about you guys?
Yeah, we're trying not to hold teal only spread this year. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
As far as the plumed out thing, if we're really trying to go for the maximum realism, then yeah, you'd probably want to go for Kenzel.
Yeah. Mason, how old are you and how long have you been hunting? Oh, something's going on. I'm not getting audio from you. Hold on, Mason. Your audio's gone. I'm trying to see if it's on my end.
How about now?
Oh, there you go. Go restart.
It said GT muted me, so I guess
Sorry,
there's
like an echo.
He's like, no, you're not talking. Sorry. Sit down, son.
Anyway, but yeah, I've been duck hunting for about, I'd say 5 years. The past two have been really 100% at it. Before then, it was kind of every now and then a duck swamp we had back home. But now it's definitely full go.
Sounds good. As far as teal hunting goes, I think like we've talked about, they're pretty dumb at that time, but there's certainly, I'm finding to be some things that you can do to actually get them decoying into your decoys versus shooting a pass shooting. And teal decoys, teal call, I think teal call is one of the big things. You get a little motion, but when we started using the teal call, I noticed that birds were dropping in the decoys a lot more frequently. So I would certainly suggest everybody go out there and get yourself I just use a $20 duck commander teal call. And I've got a video from last year on one in the playlist if you find it, where I'm showing clips of teal and how they're reacting to the call. Once we started using the teal call, we went from pass shooting to right in the decoys. I mean, like really dropping in. You guys use teal calls at all?
Yeah, we do.
I got one last year. It works. If during regular, like when it gets slow, I just start going at it with the field call, and all of a sudden there'll be a separate teal just live out of nowhere.
Well, we've been going about 50 minutes right now. So if you guys have any last questions that we could hit real fast, and then we're going to drop out of here. So I'm not sure when the next live stream will be. Oh, I know. I'm pumped about this live stream. I just had a new member jump on Patreon, and he's from Ireland. And so we've been talking a little bit, and he does more jump shooting in Ireland. But so I'm going to have him on next Friday, just me and him, because I think it's going to be really fascinating just to talk about the different hunting cultures and what it's like there and really get into that. So the next live stream will be next Friday, a week from this Friday, next Friday, I think 6 o'clock, because he's 6 hours ahead. So it'll be 12 o'clock there. And that is actually either the day before his opening day or right after. So I think that'll be really, really cool. Really cool. All right, well, I don't see any other questions, so we're going to go ahead and shut it down. But remember, guys, go check out down in the description, Double S Outdoors, Drake Valley Outdoors, GT Outdoors. They all have good content right now, but their content's going to be getting even better this upcoming hunting season. And the way that we're doing these hunting videos is a lot different than what you saw 3-4 years ago, because there's a major shift going on in especially duck hunting videos, to where it's going away from just kill shots to a lot more vlog. And I think you're seeing a big boom in that area with people doing vlog videos. And so these guys here are all doing that same format. I think it's really, really interesting, and it's a much more engaging way to see a hunt. And we talked before about earlier about some of the more established channels not getting as many subscribers and views, and I think that's another reason why, is that they still have that heavy focus on the kill shot, and you're not getting any of the experience of what's going on in the hunt. So make sure you go subscribe to those 3 guys. And also, if you would like to participate in one of these live streams, there's a Patreon link down there too. Come check us out on Patreon. And until next time, there's a video coming out Thursday and next Monday. Do you guys have any videos coming out anytime soon?
We will have one coming out when we put the blind on. So it'll be before season.
Okay. Anyone else have anything scheduled?
Maybe next week.
Okay. But they're going to be kicking out soon because hunting season's starting up. So make sure you do that. Thank you guys for joining this stream, and I will see you next time.